Hey, welcome back. Second point, White are up by 1. Pulling into the wind. Wind is right to left. Baddocks with the disc. Gives an easy one to Wachtel. Looks for it back. Wachtel looks to give it back to him. But looks upfield. Does a long one to Petrie. Petrie in the end zone. So Wachtel to Petrie. Petrie celebrates with a big ball. Kicks the disc. Enjoys that. So it's White 1, Red 1. Sneak 1, Predator 1. Andy Baddocks ready to pull into the wind. If there's a turn, they're going to set up a vert. That's what I overheard. Connor Fletcher lets this one drop to the ground this time. Still sends to Ogden.
Andy on your right.
Back to Fletcher and then Ogden with the zone on. Predator with the zone on. Edgeworth in the deep, moving around. Doe, third handler, slinks it back inside to Ang, then P. Working it through the zone. Malhotra almost got a hand on that one. We've got Fletcher, big one over to Ogden, has to take a high grab for that one. Lovely run through D. Malhotra baited that one to Doe. Jogs back out of it. So got Doe on Klein, probably a bit of a shutdown there. Break, inside flick. Back to Wachtel. Looking for Baddocks to get it back again. Looked off. Klein in the centre. Back to Nunu. Nunu will be Shantanu Malhotra, sorry. Malhotra. Oh, and that was into traffic all the way. Sorondo through that one. So Ogden's got the disc back. We'll look to centre. That's got a couple of options. Schrader's out here. He'll want his trademark overhead hammer, but he'll settle for Doe out here on the sideline. To Connor Fletcher. He holds it up a fairly long time. That one's, I reckon it was down 2. I'll let them discuss this one. After short discussion, Ogden agrees. Could be down. They'll be walked to the front of the end zone. Klein picks it up. We're looking for Wachtel as an ISO. Still a Predator in the way though. That makes it look easier in the end. Well done. So that's the first upwinder. So now Predator on 2. Sneak walking back on 1. Andy Baddocks with the pull, running down with the wind. Ogden elects to let that land and slide in, so they're taking it deep in the end zone. Possibility, maybe, for a Callahan. It's Callahan territory. Ogden with the disc back. Oh, he's got a few out here. So Connor Fletcher has the disc, does the big hammer. Nice hammer. Windsor runs into that, takes it on the ground. Gives it back to Ogden. We've got Chua running deep, but Schrader's out there anyway, looking at Windsor. Back to Ogden. Malhotra almost to get that one again into Doe in the midfield. They're slicing through this zone like Swiss cheese. So lovely through the holes there in the zone as well. Now Schrader's on the sideline. Looks off Ogden, no, he doesn't, gets it. Ogden gets it, gets the goal, jumps in. Nice work from Sneak. They get an upwind to match Predator. So we're at 2s at the moment. Sneak on 2, Predator on 2. We've got 2 downwind points and 2 upwind points. Fletcher with pulling duties, downwind at the moment, raises hand, signals his readiness. Predator still not ready now, still talking about things. Andy Baddocks leading the troops down there. Hand goes up. There's the pull. There's a big OI backhand. That comes back into the field. We've got Davis on the field now. Fields it with a one hand, one bounce reception. Klein to Petrie. We've got Sorondo looking deep. Now Schrader should read that. It's into the wind. That's always going to be a hard ask. Sorondo does very well to get up there. Connor comes through with a D. Foul called on that. Sorondo calling the foul on Schrader. Schrader just saying how he felt he went straight up, and it was maybe one of the other red teammates that came through and hit Sorondo's hand. So it's ended amicably. Yeah, retracted D. Diskin, Fletcher to Mock. Mock will swing that back. They got to keep that cup moving. They don't want to hold it steady. Sorondo now on the mark. It looks like they've lost the middle there to their mark. We've got Klein going back there. Fletcher loves this situation. It's a lovely break into the open to Schrader. Schrader with a lovely forehand. That might actually go out the ballpark. Just needs to keep it in. He does keep his back feet in about a metre in from the back line. So that's Schrader to Chua. That's a real... No, is that? Yes, this is Chua. Very good throw from Schrader. I'd like to see more of that from this young guy. That'll be hot play if we can get that going. Downwind though, it was a bit of a heart and mouth sort of situation there. Was it going to go out the back of the end zone? No, it wasn't. It was very well read. Actually, yes. So Sneak with a 1 point lead at the moment. So it's 3 to Sneak, 2 to Predator and Red. Canlis on the sideline here with me, just saying g'day. Hello. Ready for his match later on. Ogden signals his readiness for the pull into the wind. Let's see how far this one goes. It's a nice pull just to the front of the end zone. Petrie elects to let that land and slide. White with the zone on. That's an easy one to the sideline to Ricky Klein. Back to Malhotra. Could be a bit more of a give go, but Malhotra, obviously with that D before when he was on zone, very aware of that. Klein, beautiful centre, nice quick hands. Davis out to the sideline. Edgeworth could have got that one, didn't quite get the Sorondos onto it with Baddocks. Runs up in the number 6 shirt, looks for Davis, protects the space. That's really good stuff from Davis. Malhotra's got it. Red are looking hot. They just slice through the zone at the moment. It's an easy one. Froud now possibly the weak link here at the moment. Let's see what he does. They just need to shut that down. Stallmark's getting high. There's the pressure. He gets a cheeky dad backhand off. Sorondo's over there looking for Sorondo, but get a call from the sideline for Schrader to cover that. We've got Baddocks in the end zone though. This is really hot at the moment. There's Baddocks again. He's asking for it. He's not getting it. Still got Davis here. Should be a cheeky one over the top. Could be there. Baddocks put his hands in the air. He should have got these right on the front of the end zone. Now he's in. Oh, he's in. Fifth time. They actually look to him. He gets that. He's happy now. Bit frustrated he didn't get that earlier though. They're on this sideline. So now I think that makes it threes. 3 apiece. This goes up. I think Baddocks with the push quite high. Probably cut back a little bit. It's gonna land about 2/3 of the way up the field. Putting the zone on. The wind has really come up here at the moment. So Ogden has the disc. Looks for a hammer over to Windsor, but elects not to do that in the end. Brings it back to Fletcher. That's a nice throw in this wind. Wind is picking up here. Lowe just keeps it in. Trademark, one leg down wide there from Chua. It's a lovely fake there from Fletcher. Ogden making sure easy position there. Fletcher hard up against the sideline here. Looks at Mock. Still has Fletcher out here. Mock gets it for a reset. Lovely trademark round from him to Ang. And then Ang to Schrader. Now they're on the sideline. They still haven't made much ground. Still only about 2/3 of the, or 1/3 of the way down the field from their defensive end zone. Schrader looking good with his flicks tonight. That was a really lovely inside break as well. He's got Ogden out here for an easy one. Petrie sees that but doesn't get it. Big hole open there, but that's okay. We haven't got a standard cut. We've got a pommy going on. Big floaty up the top, but knows that Ang has got that height. He's got that jump. That's a better choice of club selection there by Ogden. The scuba over the top, landing quicker.
Follow through.
Now Mock with it up the sideline. Plenty of room to play over there. Gets a sneaky one back just behind Ang. Readjusts his footwork and positioning. Grabs the hand out, extends the hand out, grabs it. Safe hands for those catches. The hard ones. I've seen him drop some easy ones, but the hard ones he always seems to get in. So it's a nice play, Ogden to Ang. Sneak now 4 to Predator 3. Ogden with disc in hand, looking for the pull. Very close, tight game here that we've got. Puts his hand up right in the front of the end zone line here. Quite a number offside. He puts it high as well. It's got a bit of angle, more of an angle. Still probably just as good as Andy Baddock's previous pull that we just saw. Lands 2/3 the way up the field. Petrie fields the disc. Malhotra comes around. That's the scuba we're looking for. Schrader almost had that, so Baddock's is away on the races. Sorondo stays still, looking for Walktail over the top. And they make that one look easy with about 4 passes to get to the end zone. The wind did die down in that point though. So a bit of bad luck for White. It was a good call on the line, but just from the commentary position, the wind really died down, which is why that was so easy to break through that. So we're on 4s now. We've had Ogden at the other end with his hand up for a little while. So White right on the mark. Now we're looking at the pull. It's about a nice 5 metres over the front of the end zone line from that pull by Malhotra, who has to be on the mark as well. Legs it to the end there. Gets on the mark now. So we've got Fletcher looking for a cheeky scuba maybe over the top. White spreading the deep. You can see Windsor just here in front of me. Could go a bit deeper. This is still downwind even though there's not much wind to speak of here at the moment. Doe to Ogden. Ogden's the danger. It's a big backhand. I saw Sorondo on defence bite on that one. If Profile's on the field, I would have too, that's for certain. So we've got Mock. He's probably not going to do that. Fletcher straight into Malhotra. Gets another easy couple of points and the bookend score. He's happy with that one. Davis to Malhotra for the score. And make it look easy. So Red get a break. Davis puts the moose horns up to show bookends. So now we have Red, I believe, with a break. 5-4. Everyone's ready to play here. Got Malhotra with the pull. Let's for the inside. IO backhand. And that lands quite comfortably into Fletcher's hands. Ogden low to Doe. Gets it back easily. Davis probably could have laid for that one. Got a few fantasy points off of that. Doe shuttles it through. Fletcher looks away. Doe was still looking for him. Does the big hammer. Chua directing traffic at the moment to Ogden. Safe hands. Edgeworth down the far side. Looked off. An easy break there with his standard pommy. Got all these inside breaks that can go on. Now Malhotra's on the mark. Got Srinivasan now comes back a bit, covers that inside across the field, which is good to see. Oh, there's a hand there by Froud. Sorondo gets it though. Srinivasan now with the disc, looks to Malhotra. Call from slow from the sideline by Petrie. Got Sorondo out here, still quite close to the disc. Ogden marking him. Walktail over to Froud. Froud takes an easy one. Walktail to Froud. Nice amount of good collective use of the disc there by Red, sharing it round. Meanwhile, White down 2 now, call a timeout. So back from a timeout, White with a hand up, ready. Wachtel with pulling duties at the moment. They look more onside. Low pull, that'll roll a little bit, it'll come round. Goes through Fletcher's legs for a solid 6-point goal. Hang on this sideline, you got Chua, looked off because Wachtel's on him. Fletcher swings it. Now to Ang. Doe. His plane goes overhead. Back to Fletcher. Doe with it back. Petrie with a big bite to stop that one. There's an inside here. Petrie moves over very nicely according to that stall count.
You're right, yes, yes.
So now they'll get the swing off, but Mock decides to hold on to it. Not sure if that's the right option. They really... Oh, that's a big one. Meanwhile, Ang flies for that one. Looks back for Chua. Ang goes down. He's getting good height there on that grab as well. Ang's working overtime in the air. Now he's got an easy dump here, but Lex for the scuba to Schrader. Sorondo not looking with his back to it. And Schrader with another easy flick to Windsor. So the two Gregs connecting there. It's good to see. So White get the point back that they wanted. Make it now red 6 to White 5.
I should probably know that.
Fletcher with the pull. Lex for a roller. That'll go out the side. Just a tad over halfway up the field. As Klein picks it up from the sideline. Ladies Super League season starting today on the far field. Meanwhile, back on this field, Men's Super League Week 2. It just hits. Battix wasn't even looking at that one. Hits him in the legs. It's almost like a Battix D then. Ogden gets the disc back. Is this the chance for their second point? Sorondo comes through strongly. Strip called. Sorondo thinks about it. P makes his case quite convincingly. Sorondo uncontested for that one. We've got P with the disc here. Wind has picked up a little bit. What will he do here? There's a nice cut by Mock. An easy, nice break side swing to Mock. Lots of cuts coming over to the open side. Pick called, that was back there. Srinivasan following Fletcher hard on his back there. Davis on Ogden, lets him go a little bit. Chua with the big one. Fletcher, 3, 4, 5 grabs, doesn't get it. Davis, big voice, telling his captain not to pick up the disc. Mock with a great D from Davis. So Sneak have the disc back. What is Chua going to do? Hands it back to his captain sensibly. Big poach out here to Fletcher. We've got Mock coming up in his corner. We've got Izzy's way off his mark, giving Fletcher all the time in the world, and that means that Mock gets an easy disc in the end zone to score. Fletcher to Mock. Nice play from White. Maybe a bit of slack defence from Sorondo there. He might have lost his man, might have tried to help out someone else. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look on the replay. So now White get their second point back that they needed to even up the scores to 6s. Nice evening here for Super League. A bit of a sideline crowd. They're just enjoying the evening. Hey, Kirsty. So back after that evener point from White, they had their hand up ready to pull Ogden with the pull. That's going to land far out, so the brick will be called on that one. Andy Baddocks to get that disc, puts his hand up as he casually, leisurely jogs over to the disc. Bring it up to approximately the brick mark. Friendly rivalry. Hopefully that's not laced with anything that's going to make Petrie keel over. Petrie now with his mind on the game. It's good to see. Klein is way open. Fletcher calls the travel, not put on the mark. We've got a traditional three-man cup going on here at the moment, so they've changed it up. That's nice to look. Short deep has that option. Stop the little cheeky overhead. Oh, they no communication there for red. That's unfortunate. Fletcher to Windsor, and miscommunication from red means that white get the point. So white with 3 points in a row now. 7-6. Fletcher with the pole stays beautifully on the sideline. Davis receives it. It's just out the front of their end zone now. Wachtel deep with Schrader. Wachtel, there's a bullet. Jumps to try and get that. I don't think we got that on camera. Came out of his hands. Ogden replies with a pack. That is a big hit by Baddocks. Ang thinks about it. Lets it go. So Baddocks will probably get that D, I think. Not too sure if he touched that. Brings it up to the front of the end zone. And Ang gets the return D, returns the favour. A little bit cheeky there. I saw an Alfie. He's running a lot. No return. Now that's in. Mock to Schrader with the score. Sneak pulling away by 2. They get the half time.